dig.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I want to do a quick follow-up tech tip on my video from last week about Tabletopia, which is the online board game site. I've been using it a little bit more, and I wanted to take you through what's involved in setting up a game and some of the basic controls when you're in a game. So let's jump right into it and take a look at how this works. So I'm signed into my Tabletopia account, and I'm going to go ahead and start a new game. So I'm going to go to the All Games link at the top here, and we'll see what games pop up. Now, keep in mind, I have a free account, so I may not have access to every single game, but thus far, I found the games that I've played with have been available, and I haven't had to upgrade my account for any reason. So we're going to check out Terra Mystica. I'm just going to click on More Info here, and it pulls up some information on the game. What's really cool is it gives me a description of how the game works and some information of its mechanics. And the other thing that's great is I can quickly click on the rules right here, and it pulls up a PDF of the actual manual from the board game, which is great, and I can go through this in as much detail as I'd like. What's also great is I can download this, so even with a free account, I can download the full rule book from the box of each game and any game I'm interested in. So let's go back here, and I'm going to go ahead and click Play Online to start a game. So I want to play Terra Mystica. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So it's going to basically create a room, which is my sort of mini server within their site of where I can play. This game requires at least 2 players. I'm only 1 right now, so it's waiting for other players, or I can invite them directly. I'm going to go ahead and start the game, and then we'll take a look at how we would invite another player once the game is open. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start. This is just going to take a moment to load, and then it should bring me right to the board, and we can look at the navigation controls. So it's just going to load the game. This is going to take 1 moment. What's pretty cool is when it's loading a game, it gives you some tips of how the game is played right here. So if a game took a little bit longer, it would give you some other tips. Each game does take a little while to load. This one's got kind of a bunch of different graphics and boards, so it might take a little bit longer than others. So there also is a tutorial here when you open up the game, and it takes you through each step of the process. First of all, it takes you through the camera controls. So for example, we can scroll to zoom in and out. We can click and drag to move around on the board. You can right-click to rotate the camera around the board, which is great, and there are a couple of others as well. The other thing is you can set a series of camera views. So if I hit the 0 key on the keyboard, that's preset, and it takes me to a nice overview. But I can zoom into certain sections and save those camera views to the number keys. So let's move on here. We can enable full screen. That's great. We can interact with objects by clicking on them and pressing the question mark key. So for example, if I zoom in and click on this object, it's going to give me some information about those actions, which is great. I can find hints down on the bottom there. I can pause or restart the game by pressing this Tabletopia link here. And then there's a chat box. Now, you can use Discord or Skype or any other kind of like voice over IP service to be able to talk in real time to players. But if you don't do that, there actually is just a text chat right here to use. So we'll skip that. And then what's nice is if I want to have somebody join this, I can literally just copy the link at the top and email that to somebody, and then they can jump in my game with no issue. In addition to that, you can make friends just like you would on any social media site, and you can invite your friends to play as well. The other thing that I think is really neat is down here, there's a link. It has like a little page icon. If I click on that, it brings up, once again, the instructions right on top of the game, which is great. So before I started the game, I could open up the PDF and view it. Once I'm in the game, I don't have to switch back and forth between my game screen and the instructions. I can literally grab them at any time by just clicking this and scrolling through. And there's actually a little page navigation button here as well, which is great. So far, I found the interface and the controls to be pretty user-friendly. There was a little bit of a learning curve in, zooming in and out of the board and selecting pieces and what do I have to click and what do I have to press on the keyboard. But luckily, there's a lot of help. The other thing I really like is those in-game instructions you can pull up. So if you're playing a new game you're not super familiar with, you've got a PDF of the instructions right there on screen. So I'm going to keep exploring this, and as I discover new features, I will definitely do an update video. But that's all I've got for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in tomorrow's Tech Tip. Keep in mind that we release free videos every day at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. We have tech tips every day at noon, and we've got a ton of great online classes. So check out the DAE.com to see our schedule of private lessons and online classes, and I'll see you tomorrow.